Hello all. Welcome to another review of the market. Let's look at starting again from. We'll always start with the ETFs of S&P, SPY, and the QQQ, just to kind of get the overall market idea, and then we'll look into some couple stocks. So starting with S&P, SPY. As on Sunday's video, I said this is right here. We closed on Friday, and I had mentioned that 280 is the next resistance line, and we are approaching to make that new all-time highs on the SPY in coming days or maybe weeks. But yeah, soon. The way it's moving, I think it's soon. The MACD is curled up all the way. The RSI is moving up nicely. And not even that, the 13 SMA line is turning up to cross over the 50, which is always a very bullish thing. But we were bull flagging last week, and we broke out of Friday. And today, again, we closed almost at the high of the day. That's always a good sign. We had some money come in into the close, but not as much volume. This again stands as a concern to me. But again, just play the market. If it's green, you play the green. But just keep an eye on the volume. I mean, you saw this a few weeks back. We had this, huge volume sell-offs. But then after that, the volume has been consistently been low. So keep an eye on that. But I think we're approaching 280 soon, and we'll have a little bit of a resistance over there. But then we'll definitely test the all-time high soon. Now let's look at the QQQ. It's the NASDAQ ETF. This one, I mean, I've been, saying it for a while in the chat room, and I also mentioned it on the video on Sunday. That 170 was coming. I mean, this thing moved the moment it hit 150. It bounced like crazy. We got over these SMA lines like there's no tomorrow. Like we ran big. Money flew into techs. Facebook, Apple has been growing, Amazon, and now Facebook this last couple of days. Google's a little still behind. I think Google will be next, but definitely the Qs are running the market right now. The MACD is nicely curled. RSI is going, so keep an eye on the RSI. We're approaching that 80. So just keep an eye on it. 80 usually, gives you a little bit of a pullback, as you see over here. We were overbought on daily, like around 83, 84, and then obviously we had a massive pullback. So keep an eye on the 80s. That gives you a little bit of pullback for an entry. And then, as you can see, the 13 SMA is almost crossing over 50. So I believe we can break the all-time highs tomorrow and try to close above it, which will be also a very bullish thing. So usually it's a three-day runner, right? So 1, 2, maybe another day of running, and then see some kind of a consolidation around the 170 before moving up. So keep an eye on the QQQ. Now we're going to look at JPM. This was the swing trade that I alerted on the video and in the room on Sunday night, which was yesterday actually. Yes, today's Monday. And look at it. I mean, come on. You can't beat these plays. It's just so easy to find in the market when you have everything is moving, but you want one thing that moves and it pays you. Everything is moving, right? But you're not sure what to buy because everything is moving, and you can't buy everything. You pick one thing, and it works. I said right here, the JPM had a pullback. Here, JPM had a pullback. And we closed at the highs on Friday. And look at that hammer. We were down. We tested the support of 117, and boom, 190, 118. We hit the 118.90 all-time highs on it. I think 120 is coming. 121 is the next resistance line on here. I think we'll see that. I want to say this week. Not sure if tomorrow, possible tomorrow, but I'm saying this week. We are testing 120, 121. I picked some calls up this morning. I got 120 for April. So I definitely am bullish on here, and I think we're testing 121 this week. MACD is nicely curled. RSI is also in a very nice area. So keep an eye on JPM. Still time to get in. I mean, April 120s, they're not that expensive. If you haven't got any yet, check that out. Netflix, what a beast. Another FANG that has been on a roller coaster, on a roll actually. Made an all-time highs after earnings, and was just consolidating, and was had a massive pullback to 236. During the correction, great pullback. What a great entry at the 50 SMA and at the 50 fib line, and just kept going. And then we had a nice consolidation at the 286, for last week. Closed at the highs at the 286, and boom, 295 today. What a run today. 314. I've been saying 300 this week, and I think we're gonna see 300 this week. But 314 is on the cards. Most likely, in a week or two, you're gonna see 314 under. So ride the wave. Definitely we're going about 300 this week. So keep an eye. If there's still room to run, time for an entry. If you haven't entered, I'm not in it, but definitely a room to run on this one. The other one that I played today was LRCX. I bought in the first thing in the morning, and I sold it almost at the close, around 3:30ish. Took my gains. It was a nice profit. Alerted this in the room in the morning. Bought some $200 calls for March. Went a little out of the money. Took some and gave myself 3 weeks. Just I want to have some time on my hand in this kind of unsure market with what's going on. So just had, but it paid me, and I sold it. I took my gains. But as you can see here, you can see how, let's just look at it right here. It was holding the 50 SMA line the last week. We had a hammer on Thursday, then Friday, and then today we got over that 100 SMA line. There's still room to run, but I want to see this 13 SMA over. MACD is kind of getting over a little bit too much here. So, but it can definitely go to 200 before we see any kind of a pullback on here. But I want to take my gains. My next resistance line on LRCX is right around this region, 202, 202.40ish would be my next resistance line. So easily that can happen next tomorrow or Thursday, Wednesday. So something to keep on mind. If you are not in it and you want to play weekly or weekly calls, there's a room for it to run. So keep an eye on LRCX. I got a couple more plays that I want to talk, and then I'm going to give a swing play that I think is ready for next move. Alibaba. Alibaba has been, it's a great company. I love it. I play it almost every day, if not every day, every other day. But it's been struggling. Trying to make that move about 200, but it's been just not been able to get there. So let's look at it. 190, 165. We had a triple top here, 1, 2, and then here around this one. And then once we broke here, we went and made the new all-time highs. Perfect. We came back down to this 170 pullback right here. During that pullback that we had, we came down to 168, which is a baseline over here. Over here, 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 here. 170 is going to be the strongest support on Alibaba, no matter what, unless we get something really crazy. And 192, we finally broke out of it on Friday, and then today we came down and tested it. And I had a feeling that we're going to be doing that. That's why I sold my calls actually on Friday morning and did not enter until today when it came down to, I actually got around like 192. I was a little red, when it came down to 190, under 191, but I held on. I knew what it was doing. I was ready for that actually, but it kind of went down under 191. But hey, what a pullback, and what a comeback. And we see this nice reversal candle, and I see that we're gonna 198 is your next resistance line on here, and I think we're gonna test it this week. We saw some bullish activity on it. I just want to talk about this, on our option chain. If you look here, Alibaba had some $200 calls bought for this week. So just take the puts out here, and you can see they were like for 3-2, which is this weekend, 197s, 200s, 195s, 200s. So a bunch of these calls were getting bought today, even some long terms and even some short terms. There was 207 for next week. A lot of purple. So something to keep in mind. Keep on watch this one. It's gonna move soon. So that's something to keep in mind. And 198, 199 is possible this week. That's your next step. Also, like I talk about JPM, I got in this morning and then we saw this activity on JPM. Look at all those. Even I'll show you the puts. There's hardly 1, 2, 3, 4 puts, and all those JPM calls getting bought. Every single for this week. 119, 316 expiration, 116. 124, lot of in the money, but a lot of calls getting bought today on JPM. So that was something to keep in that we saw after actually we had purchased this morning, which was pretty good. And the next play that I want to talk about is UPS. That's my next swing. And now I played this couple of weeks back. It was okay. I made money, but it wasn't really as the run that I was looking for. So here what happened is we have formed a massive base at 104, as you can see, a massive base. This not breaking 104.18, 104 around that region is massive base. Oversold like nothing. In RSI in the 20s, MACD about to curl, 13 SMA is about to curl. This is under it just closed today above the 13 SMA. Look at that candle today. This is, in my opinion, if we can break this tomorrow right here, 108.46. If we can break this 108.46 tomorrow right here, we are going. This is gonna fill this this gap, and most likely it's gonna get going. To the next line would be, in my eyes, right here. What I see here is this one, 111. I picked some calls at 357 before the close. Then I saw this move and I'm like, you know what, I have to just pick something up. But obviously it's not too late to get in. I got some 110 calls for April. I went some little far. They were not expensive. So keep an eye on this one. This is the next big swing play. FedEx has FedEx got some negative news from the NRA not cutting their discounts off and all that. So UPS also got a price upgrade this morning. As we can see right here, it got a price upgrade. It mentions that UPS upgrades to buy. Amazon concerns are overdone. So that is something to keep in mind. All the Amazon hoopla was around it. Let's see if UPS had any earnings, any activity today. And look at that. 323 UPS calls, 107 bought today on the sweeps, on the ask actually. Both were sweeps. Okay, around the same time, around 120-ish. And both were bought on ask. So look at that. Perfect opportunity to get in. Something to keep in mind. And this is blackboxstocks.com. This is what I use. Great service, great option activity. Now we have this option scanner on it, and you can't ask anything better than this. It gives you every single thing, the flow and everything. So something, you want to try it out, hit me up on StockTwits, and I can, get you some, get you a trial or something, and, enjoy the, definitely something to try it out. Why not? So this is it for today, guys. I hope it was helpful, and thank you for watching.